Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Gita, chapter number 2, text number 31. Swadharmam api chave kya navikampitum arhasi dharmaya dev chakshreyo nyakshatriyasya navidyate. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there is no need for hesitation. Now, this is the next set of verses which Krishna is giving further clarity. Purport. Out of 4 orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called Kshatriya. Kshat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. Kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A Kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of Ganesha. This system has been followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya king of Jaipur. Kshatriyas are specially trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasa or renunciation. Non-violence in politics may be diplomacy, but it is never a factor or principle. In the religious law books, it is stated, Ahāvesumito jigam santam ahikshitaha yuddhamana paramapshatya swargam yante aparanmutaha yajnesu pasavo brahman hanyate satatam dvijaha samskritaha kilamantrescha tepi swargam navapnuvan. In the battlefield, a king or kshatriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving the heavenly planets after death. As a Brahmana also attained the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the battlefield of religious principles and killing animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal sacrificed gets a human life immediately, without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Kshatriyas killed on the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice. There are 2 kinds of swadharma, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with the religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual and is not in the material body concept. In the bodily conception of life, there are specific duties for the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas respectively, and such duties are unavoidable. Swadharma is ordained by the Lord, and this will be clarified in the 4th chapter. On the bodily plane, Swadharma, called Varnashrama Dharma, or man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of Varnashrama Dharma, or specific duties in terms of specific modes of nature of the body obtained. Discharging one specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the orders of higher authorities serves to elevate one to a higher status of life. Omajnanatimirandasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshuranmanitamena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadhameyam Dadati Swapadantikim Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim. Yatkripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, Swadharma or the natural state, one's prescribed duties, that has to be done. There is no exception for that. Irrespective of who the person is or what he does, his prescribed duties are given. He should lead one should lead one's life according to his prescribed duties. 1 second, 10 seconds. So this thing is very important. Our actions and activities, for example, whatever I do, it is not just impacting me, it is impacting whoever is around me. For example, if I'm dishonest, through my dishonesty and I'm leading a life, obviously, if I'm dishonest, I'll lead a life of dishonesty. So when I'm leading a life of dishonesty, is that dishonesty impacting only me? No, the dishonesty is also impacting my family members or my staff or my office mates. It is impacting everyone. That means our duty, which we are actually doing, it is impacting everyone else also. Please try to understand. It is not impacting only one person or one set of people. Please understand. This is actually impacting everyone. That means if I'm dishonest, that is not just spoiling my thing, but it is spoiling the others also. So, dear devotees, this process is very important. Why? Because our consciousness is invested in that. Please understand this. If my consciousness is invested in that, whatever I'm doing, I'll get a result out of it. Now, that is the whole point. Everyone should have their own prescribed duties, and one should not deviate from those prescribed duties. And one should not avoid one's prescribed duties also. One cannot say that, oh, I will not do this, I will not do that, I will be here, I will be there, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So this becomes little difficult. Please try to understand. Because if our prescribed duties are not in accordance to the scriptures, that means I'm just giving an example of dishonesty. Let's say you're doing a duty, but you're not fulfilling it correctly. That is not giving you satisfaction, that is not helping me, that is not helping the other person also. Please try to understand. That means I'm putting the other person also in trouble. It is not benefiting them. That means all of these things is not helping anyone. So these things have to be assessed. If this assessment is done correctly, what is happening is slowly our prescribed duties, we get a taste in doing the prescribed duties also. So through this prescribed duty, what happens is slowly, it looks, no doubt it is material, because you're just doing your duty. You are expecting some results. You do this, you get this. You do that, you get that. No doubt. But when you're honest in that, in our dealings, slowly, what happens is this prescribed duties are also elevated. Please understand that. Through that elevated state, what happens is you come to the state of liberation. Now, through that liberation, slowly, what happens is we move forward. We move to the stage of pure devotion. That is where the principles of Dhairya Varnashrama comes in. That means you are doing a duty, but you are not doing the duty simply for you will get something or this, that, or other things. You're just doing it. You're just doing it to please the Lord, to please the spiritual master. Because please understand, when we are stressing on an aspect of pleasing the acharyas, of pleasing Krishna, their devotees are so much beneath that. Now everyone goes to office, but how many of them are giving the results to Krishna? It's no, we don't give, right? Because what is that? When we don't give the results to Krishna means what is happening? Karmic reactions are coming. Now that means do we give the results to Krishna only to avoid the karmic reaction? No. We give the results to Krishna to develop a relationship with Krishna. We give the results to them because we want to develop a relationship with them. Because unless and until I reciprocate something, I cannot get a response. That means working for Krishna doesn't manifest. That means the prescribed beauty will remain prescribed beauty, but it will not change our state of consciousness. It will not move us from one state to other state. Because we are fixed up in this. Because I again tell, this is not knowledge. Krishna consciousness is not mere knowledge. Krishna consciousness is a transformation of the heart. And the transformation of the heart happens when we actually truly follow our prescribed duties. As per Guru Sadhu Shastra. Yagnartat karma yatra lokoyam karma bandhana. That means if that yagya is not meant, the yagya means the prescribed duty. If the prescribed duty is not written for the pleasure of Vishnu or Krishna, then lokoyam karma bandhana. That means it falls under the state of karma bandhana. What is this karma bandhana? Karma bandhana means we are bounded to that. For example, if I am not doing this, an act to please Krishna or to please Vaishnavas or to please the spiritual master, to please Srila Prabhupada, and we are not doing for their happiness, what is happening is karma bandhana. Yagnartat karma bandhana. Lokayam karma bandhana. When the karma bandhana is happening, what is happening? The sadhaka is actually in this material world, but is actually suffering. What is happening? Is actually in this world, but through that, what is happening? He is getting sufferings. Please understand this. And this suffering is what? This suffering is not good suffering. Because this suffering is actually putting a sadhaka in one state to other state. Please understand this, dear devotees. This is a whole point why the sufferings are continuously coming in our life. We are not that kind of devotees like Pandavas, where the sufferings are given directly by the Lord. Our sufferings are through the karmic reaction which we are doing. Now, how are those karmic reactions coming? Because our prescribed duties are not pure. And the prescribed duties are still contaminated. Prescribed duties have to be purified. That means we should begin working or leading our life for the pleasure of the Lord. That is what Srila Prabhupada is very clearly explaining in this particular purport. He's telling the intent and content of a Kshatriya is what he should do. He should know his prescribed duty. Kshatriya means what? He should fight. There's no other option. Kshatriya cannot sit idle. Kshatriya cannot do this, cannot do that. No, he has to fight. There's no other business because his swabhava is natural for that. Because his nature suits that. That means earlier, the prescribed duties were actually given based on their swabhava. Please understand, this is very important here to what. Prescribed duties are actually given based on swabhava. That means, if a person's swabhava has a brahmanical qualities, that means titik sava, karnika, shrudha sharadehina, ajata shatru ashanta, sadhava, sadhabhushana, those things. So, what is that, dear devotees? If the swabhava is meant for that, then what is happening? Through that swabhava, naturally there is an inclination. For example, if one's nature is to read scriptures, if one's nature is to preach, if one's nature is to take care of the devotees, then he should do that. He should not avoid that. He should fix on that. He should be fixed upon it. But if one's nature is not that, he should not imitate that. That means everything has to be given as a service. Because who will give us a service? A spiritual master. That means we should develop what? We should develop a relationship with them. Through that relationship, what happens? They would trace our swabhava, they would trace our nature. Because we are extending our relationship. Through that relationship, they would know us. Through that nature, what is happening? They understand the swabhava. They said, your swabhava is this, you do this service. Your swabhava is this, you do that service. That means a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra is being classified. It's not through their body, or not through their caste, or not through their birth, but through their swabhava. Please understand, this is very important. Because if through swabhava this is not manifested, then what is happening is, what is, for example, if my swabhava is one thing and I'm doing something else, well, it is not a match. Because I'm not there in the pure state yet. Please understand. Because the sadhaka, if the sadhaka is in the pure state, he can do anything. He can do Brahminical work, he can do anything, any activity. He can do mercantile, he can do business, he can do anything. But if the sadhaka is not in that particular state, then the best thing is one should know there's one sabhava, then one should actually lead one's life according to that. For example, general principles are there for everyone. Chant Hare Krishna, 16 rounds, follow 4 principles. This is for everyone. Whoever comes to the moment, this is for what is that? Because this is a purification of the heart. Do Shravana Kirtana, follow 4 principles. This is purification of the heart, transforming the consciousness that everyone has to go through. Because everyone, Kalo Sudra Sambhava, everyone is Sudras in this material world based on their nature. But slowly what happens is, through that, even though the mentality is that, but through the association, slowly what is happening is, his natural Swabhava is ignited. Once when the natural Swabhava is ignited, what happens is, the sadhaka will get that kind of a service, and then through that service he'll make progress in Krishna consciousness. Because that is close to his heart. Please understand. Anything if a person is doing which is close to one's heart, what is happening is, through that service which is done, which is actually close to one's heart, he does it with much more conviction. Because he wants to do that. Because that is his nature. That is his second nature. But if that prescribed duties is even more condensed, what is happening? Then that evolves to the pure devotion state. That means, my dear Lord, you can put me in whatever situation you want. Because what is happening slowly, the prescribed duty which he is actually doing, it is helping him to come to the state of oh, my dear Lord, you can put me. I will respect everyone. I will offer my obeisances. I'll be humble. Humbler than the blade of the grass, tolerant than the tree, giving respect to everyone, not accepting any respect in return. This will manifest. How is this manifesting? Through prescribed duties. How is that prescribed duties are coming? Through sabhava, through nature. This shloka is very, very important, dear words. The prescribed duties which we are discussing is important because these prescribed duties are the one which actually connects us to the process of Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. That means the duty has to be done. That duty also which should be close to our heart. Sabhava. Now, this thing has to be assessed. Every devotee has to be assessed. They should know their sabhava. They should know their own sabhava. And then according to that sabhava, they should do their services. Otherwise, what happens is if a sadhaka is doing service, he's actually complaining. Why? Because his heart is not satisfied. Because he's not trained up. First thing, he's not trained up. And second thing, he's not given that kind of a service as per his sabhava. Even though if he has received a service as per one's own sabhava, but he's not trained up in the process, he will actually say, this is problem, that is problem. You stay here, I stay there. It continues. This is the problem. Now, when we understand this, then we kind of know that, oh, this is not the right way. I shouldn't take up this process in this way. I should take this process like this. This is not my way of taking this truth. Because he understands. He's realizing slowly. This thing has to happen. Dear devotees, if this thing is not happening, then what is happening is, slowly, the prescribed duties, actually, we are actually not actually working through our prescribed duties. The prescribed duties has to be assessed. if one is having Brahminical qualities, he should actually do scriptural reading, understanding. He should do Shravanam every day from the spiritual master. He should be very sincere in following the truth. This is a Brahminical qualities. Those are the qualities of a Brahmana. He is very truthful. He is very open heart. Whatever is there, he'll tell. And that doesn't mean that he's affecting whatever is there because his heart is pure. Pure things only will come. He will not impact the other person. Please understand this. So this thing has to be reviewed. Pretty much reviewed. Otherwise, it's a problem. Otherwise, it is definitely a problem. Why it is definitely a problem? Because this will not lead to right state. You'll see this problem, that problem. Here there is a problem. If you see this entire world is this entire material world is like that. Everyone is trying to find faults in other person, right from children. This material world is designed like that. I am good, that person is bad. Without lack of training only. Why we don't see good in others? Lack of communication, lack of association. Everyone will tell. Whomever is speaking, they will always complain on their manager in this material world. Oh, my manager is not good. He will not give leaves. He will not do that. He will not do this. That person will never tell what he has done. Because he thinks that whatever he has done is good. Does it mean that this is acting on the prescribed duties? No, this is not acting on the prescribed duties. He is cheating himself by putting other persons down. That is not the right state. That will neither give happiness to anyone. The person who is actually hearing, he will actually cultivate enviousness on that particular person. Otherwise, he will have a bad impression on that person. And this person is already having enmity to this person. Now, if the person is carrying envy to the other person, how can he be happy? No, this is the whole point in this material world. Nobody is happy. Everyone is thinking that they are happy, but they are not happy. Because they are all finding faults with the other persons. If you think further, dude, there is a finding faults with the other person is due to lack of association. It's due to lack of connection, lack of Krishna consciousness. Because his heart is not satisfied here, dude. His heart is troubled. He has a troubling heart. His mind is not satisfied. The mind is wandering in different states. Is this helping anyone? It's not helping. Is this good? Is this not good? Is this the right state? Is this not the right state? That is the whole point. Even the person has millions of dollars, this person will not be happy. I'll give an example. There might be a big IAS officer, but that IAS officer is doing is IAS officer, like a collector, a big government servant, big government employee. But that employee has studied very hard to come to that position. But that person is taking bribery because he wants some money. But why is he taking money? Does the government doesn't give him money? He gives. Government gives him money. But he is greedy. He wants more. See, dear, what is this one quality? What is it doing? It's troubling the person. It's putting the person in an unwavering state. It's putting a person in a particular state where he is committing another heinous act. Now, will the government accept that? Government will not accept. What the government will do? He will dismiss that person. Because he's taking bribery. Is the bribery good? No, it's not good. But why is he taking? He also knows that bribery is not good. But still he continues to do that. Because his heart wants to do that. Why? He had a hankering. He already has money, but he wants more. Is it helping him? No, it's a disease. Greed is a diseased condition. It doesn't help anyone. It will not help anyone in this world. It's a diseased condition. Is he happy? Is he satisfied? No. Is he doing that person is actually doing a duty. But is it a prescribed duty? No, it is not. Because somehow he's not trained up. He's not in the right state. He's not honest. He doesn't have good qualities. Is he helping him? No. Now, how do all these things are manifesting in this world, dear devotee? Please understand. How do all of these things are manifesting? To want to be independent of Krishna. Everyone in this world, we all want to be independent. We want to have independent happiness. Why that person is greedy? Why is he not satisfied with whatever he's been given? Actually, we should be satisfied. Whatever Krishna gives, that belongs to us, nothing else. We should be satisfied with that. Very important. And this satisfaction is the beginning of to receive happiness and to accept the sense of Krishna consciousness. Because this is a secret. This happiness, one should hanker for this happiness. Because this happiness is internal. For example, if a person is very honest, he'll get satisfaction in his heart. But that might not be pure devotional service, but he'll get satisfaction because he is heading into that direction. Because he is doing his prescribed duties diligently. He's not disobeying, he's not disrespecting. Slowly, because he is doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. Please understand. Who is in the center? Krishna is in the center. He's leading one's life because to please Krishna. He's working because he's getting salary because to please Krishna. Now, some salary is required to maintain the family, but not everything. The other portion is used in the service of the Lord, used in the service of Guru Sadhu Shastra. Why? Yaginartat karmano yatra lokoyam karma bandhana. What is real yagya? Real yagya is to preach Krishna. Anything else? Binding, karma bandhana. It looks prescribed duty only. It is not prescribed duty. Because that prescribed duty is not helping him to advance in Krishna consciousness. Rather, that prescribed duty is pulling him down, further down. Please understand this. It's very important. Now, this we need to assess. Very important. Because if all of these things are not assessed, then what happens is, let me tell you something. Hiranyakashipu, he received a bone. Now, what is a bone? He cannot be killed by any of these people, any of these things. Humans, animals, inside, outside, day, night, devatas, demons. Nobody can kill him. He became powerful. Now, after becoming powerful, what he started doing is he started conquering everyone. Now, question, why is he conquering? Because he wants to avail happiness. That is his duty. He wants to avail happiness through conquering everyone. Because everyone is offering obeisances to him means he's happy. That means for that, what is he doing? He's ready to do anything. Please understand another thing. But what is his core desire? To conquer everyone and to kill Krishna. That is his strategy. Can he do that? He cannot do that. How can he conquer everything? He cannot conquer because is he the supreme? He is not the supreme. But what is he doing? His thinking is the supreme. Please understand. And his thinking, he wants to become supreme. This is another problem. One thing is his thinking is supreme, and the other thing is his thinking he wants to become supreme. Why he wants to become supreme? Why he wants to become top? Why he wants to go to that particular state? Because that is his nature. What is his nature? That is the whole point of asking all those questions. that his death should not come through any of these means. Actually, first he was asking for immortality, but that cannot be granted because Brahmaji says that I myself am mortal. How can I give immortality to you? Then he says that he's trying to check all the boxes because he wants to be immortal. Why? That is another nature of the soul. We discussed Satchit Ananda. We want to be eternal. How eternal? By controlling everyone. How eternal? By becoming the master. Now, this mentality is there in this world. This mentality is sitting in our consciousness also. To lord over others, to control others, to maintain others. This mentality is there. That's why when this mentality is not actually corrected through Krishna consciousness, even in Krishna consciousness, we get problems. Why? Because there's a problem in the mentality. Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, not Dhritarashtra, Hiranyakashipu has everything. But still, he was not happy with Prahlad Maharaj. Why? A simple thing. Indra is offering obeisances to you. Chandra, Varuni, Vayu, all the devatas, they're actually singing your glories. That means whatever you say, they're doing. Everyone in this Brahmanda Brahmitakon Bhagyavan Jiva. Abrahma Gunaloka, Punaravarti, this 14 planetary system, everyone is offering salutes to you. So one boy, maybe one boy, this one boy doesn't want to follow his father. He's upset. Please understand. See how deep this exact, we have this in our consciousness state about. That's why we want to become Lord. We want to become Master. If there are 50 devotees, we want to sing among 50 devotees. If there's only one devotee, we don't want to sing. Why? There's only one person, right? What can I do with one person? Oh, he'll sing, I'll sing. There are 50 people, then it's more. So we give more priority to that. Now we don't give priority to this. If Prabhupada would have thought like that, these books wouldn't have been written. Actually, the introduction which Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, he's speaking that introduction in 4 rooms. He's speaking that introduction just in a room. I'm not 4 rooms, 4 walls. Still a small room. Nobody's there. Just using his dictaphone and then speaking. Because truth is more important here, devotees. More powerful. This thing we need to assess. Very important. We should understand our prescribed duties, how we are doing, what we are doing, should lead our life accordingly. Hare Krishna. I think I'll stop here. We'll continue our discussion. Anyone has any quick questions? Would like to add anything? Would like to share? I'm kind of feeling that I'm connecting after many days. Sorry, we couldn't discuss the truth for a few days. Hare Krishna. Yes, Subal Bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for able to hear you again after quite a few days. We were also feeling same yesterday. Yeah, you're absolutely. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you all very much, dear devotees. We'll continue our discussion. Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Just Karina, you can begin your prayers. Thank you.
Karina Mataji, you're there? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandam
Okay.
Pranam, all glories to
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Okay.
Sorry, Babaji, we had some internet connection problems. Well, not internet, it's just that I couldn't sign on properly. But thank you so much, Babaji. Anastapam Devani. Thanks so much, Hare Krishna. जो विश्वदापुर महमसा प्रिय राजकचार्य शरत श्री शिमरे से भक्तिवृंद समय राजेश्वर पार की जय
Jai.
इसका beauty पंचाचार्य पार की जय
Jai.
जो विश्वदापुर महमसा प्रिय राजकचार्य शरत श्री शिमर भक्ति सनंद सरस को समय राजेश्वर पार की जय
Jai.
नंद को वैष्णव विंद की जय
Jai.
चरेश्वर रास्तकोर की जय
Jai.
देव सको श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री ऋतु ग्रादे श्री श्री को भक्तविंद की जय
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्यामंद राधा कुंगरी गोवर्धन की जय
Jai.
श्री मायापुर धाम की जय
Jai.
श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय
Jai.
श्री जगन्नाथपुरी की जय
Jai.
गंगा माया की जय
Jai.
यमुना माया की जय
Jai.
तुलसी देवी की जय
Jai.
भक्ति देवी की जय
Jai.
श्री राम सिंह की जय
Jai.
समवेत भक्तिवंद की जय
Jai.
नित्य गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल
Hari
Hari Hari Bol.
All glories to Son devotee Sri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Son devotee Sri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Son devotee Sri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Namam Shmaraya Krishna Shtabhutra Lishmati Bhakti Avaranta Samati Namane. Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Bacharani Nirvishesh Nivari Prasad Dishtarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pramanityananda Shri Radha Shiv Sari Gauravaktivinda. Mukum Karoti Vachala Pangamulam Kadegani Mikri Patamaham Vande. Shri Gunitana Danam Paramanan Badam Shri Janeshanam. Karve Gaurachandra Radhikatala Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Panchakalpa Chakra Visnava Vijapati Tanam Pavani Vaishnavi Namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Karina Mataji ki jai, ISKCON
Jai.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Prabhu Bhumini Mataji, Deepali Mataji, Namananda Prabhu, Rachna Mataji, Sheetal Mataji, Madhav Prabhu, all devotees ki jai. Thank you.
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Pranam everyone.
Nice Krishna